What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael, and for those who are new to this channel, this is just where I talk about my nursing journey and I share my experience with you guys and try to give you guys some tips and advice to help you guys out. And in this video, we're going to talk about how I passed the Nclex RN. So to start off, I'm going to give you guys a quick little background on how I got to this point of taking the Nclex RN this year. So I was in high school, 2017, graduated. I was a C and B student. I rarely got any A's. And then come community college after high school, from 2017 all the way to 2020, took all my nursing prerequisites at a community college nearby, and then got all A's in all the classes: psychology, chemistry, A&P, English, math, reading, all that good stuff that you need to get into a nursing program. Got all A's, exceeded very well. I worked hard towards it, had a change of mindset going into those classes, and I really wanted it. I really wanted it bad. And so I told myself, you have to work for it. And I did. And I got all A's, and that was the result. And so from 2020, applied to nursing schools. I applied to like 3 community colleges and then a couple of private colleges. And then only one of the community colleges reached back. I got accepted. I was grateful, blessed, because it was a lottery system of where you get chosen to go into the nursing program. And so I got picked. So going into 2020, I was in the nursing program, and then I unfortunately I did not pass the second semester of that program, and so it was a setback, but it was preparing for a comeback. And then I got into the LVN program at that same school because they gave me another opportunity to keep pursuing to go in towards a nursing program and degree. And so I finished the LVN program 2022. Finished the second and third semester of that program, became an LVN 2022, and then from there I found out about Nightingale College, and then from Nightingale College I was in there from 2022 all the way to 2024 of December, where I got my bachelor's degree of nursing, and then I was eligible to take the Nclex in February, where I passed the Nclex. So going back to 2024, after completing the program, I just told myself, just do the same thing that what I did before in the LVN program and before taking the NCLEX and the LVN school, is just to give yourself a mental break off of no studying material, not looking at anything school related, just having fun and doing what you do to have fun. Whether that's reading a book or going out and exercising and going for a walk, going on a trip somewhere, doing whatever you do, just that's fun to you, just to reset the mind and to prepare for what's to come. So that's what I did, because I knew that in January and February that I was going to study like crazy, and exactly what I thought. That's what I did. So I took that week off, end of December, spent time with the holidays, good time with holidays with family and friends, and then all of January and February, I just studied like crazy, madness. I studied every single day for 8 to 10 hours, watching videos, taking notes, jotting down in my journal, filling up that whole book, all throughout that time, because I knew that's what I needed to do to pass this exam. And I knew I wasn't the best exam taker, taking these tests, and I knew I needed to study more than what I did before. And I didn't want to leave anything on the table and to have no regrets to say that I didn't give it all, or I didn't give as much effort as I could have. So I gave it my all, 120% effort, preparing for this exam, because I wanted it bad, and I didn't want to have any doubt. So leave no doubt, and I gave it my all, studied like crazy for all those days in January and February until that exam day, February 15th. So on exam day, it was the morning time. I prefer morning time because that's when I test better. I'm more awake, more alert. I had, good breakfast. Make sure you have a good breakfast. Waited in my car, and I had lots of thoughts going on through my mind, some negative thoughts. And I had to tell myself, shut off all that noise, zone in and lock in. Have positive thoughts. Tell yourself you're going to do great. You're going to pass, and you've prepared yourself well enough to do great, and you studied so much that you're going to pass and you're going to do this. And just positive thoughts. That's what you need to tell yourself before you go into big exams like these. And so that's what I did. So walking into that testing center, they check you, make sure you have nothing on you. nothing cheating wise. And then you go into the testing site of where you go into your computer, and then from there you take your exam. They give you the options of like headphones or earphones. I chose to wear some earplugs just to silence the noise, but the room was quiet already. I just didn't want to have any distractions. And so then I took the exam. I was like maybe 2 hours in, 2 hours or something into the exam. Can't really remember exactly. And then the exam was supposed to shut off around 85 questions. That was the standard of where the exam is supposed to shut off, whether you successfully passed or failed. And then for me, it kept going to like 102 questions, around that number. And I was, answering questions after that 85 mark. And I was like, is this exam ever going to shut off? And so it didn't until 102. And it was funny because around the 90 question mark, it told me whether I wanted to take a break. And I was like, man, what is going on? And so I was getting hungry. I was getting mind fatigued of answering all those questions. And I'm like, man, this thing keeps going. So then it went all the way to 102 around that time, around that question mark. And then it finally gives you the option of to stop taking the exam, and the whole screen just shut off. It gives you a survey to complete, and I was thrilled. I was like, oh man, about time. So then I was just so mentally tired. Went back to the car. Lots of stuff going through the mind of like whether did I pass, did I do good, how did I do. And unfortunately you can't find out immediately on how well you did, other than doing like the Pearson VUE trick of where you try to register for the exam again and it won't give you the option. It'll give you a pop-up. So I did that as soon as I got home. But then I kept calling my friends, my classmates who have taken the exam, told them how I did. I was stressed out. And it's a man, it was a man, long days waiting to find out whether you passed or failed. But then 3 days later, I found out that I passed, and I was grateful, blessed. All that hard work, it paid off, and it was amazing. So a couple tips I have for you guys taking the Nclex RN. The first one being study, study, study. I mean, just study like you never studied before. Prepare yourself so well that you're going to go into the exam with confidence and knowing that you're going to pass, because whatever question pops up, you're going to know that topic or something similar, and you're going to just go in your mind and be like, oh, I've seen that before. You're going to know what that question, what that answer is to that question. So just prepare yourself so well that you're going to go in the exam with confidence. So study, study, study. Another tip I have for you guys is to use what works for you. So we're all different. We've gone through different things in nursing school, and we find what works and what doesn't work. So for me, what works for me is watching videos and repetition. Always writing down the topic, the details about that system or that treatment or that medication, the side effects, all that good stuff. Writing it all down, and keep writing it until it gets ingrained in your head, so you can decipher that question. So whatever question pops up in that exam, you're gonna know it in and out. No matter what it is. So that's what works for me. Maybe it's different for you, or maybe it's the same. But just find what works for you, and use the programs or tools and the methods what works for you. And also for me, like I said in the previously, Simple Nursing and UWorld. Those are the two best programs that I recommend to anyone taking the NCLEX. But maybe you prefer something else, and that's okay, because we're all different. But that's just what works for me, so that's what I did. And yeah, just use what works for you. Last tip I have for you guys, and it's probably the most important one out of all, is to believe in yourself and to trust yourself. Put yourself in the position that you've prepared so well, you've studied all this time, you've done everything that you can to pass this exam. It's so important to you, but how important is it to you? How much do you care about this? How well do you want to do to prepare for this moment? Have you done everything that you can to prepare for this month or two, leading up to this exam? Ask yourself that. And sometimes you just have to say you've done everything you can. You studied all that you can, and you're going to take this exam and you're going to pass. And having that positive mindset changes everything. I'm telling you guys, once you have that positive mindset, anything is possible. If you could believe it, you could achieve it. And I appreciate you guys for watching. This is my tips and advice and my experience for the Nclex and taking the RN Nclex. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment down below on your experience on taking the Nclex and share with us, how it went for you and what worked for you, what didn't. So yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. I'll see you guys. Peace.